So here you're seeing a security detail, and they are both attacking this older woman, and she seems to be pretty classy, but they're calling her ghetto for some reason. And let me give you some context to this video before I show it. Now, this was pulled from TikTok. It is a footage of a woman who went to a nightclub on the patio. She ordered a drink, but she got a cup of water, which was obviously sitting in front of her. They took too long to bring her drink, and so she mentioned about it. That part was not on the tape. Now, she was asked to leave the restaurant, and she refused to leave, which may have been a mistake on her part, because when they tell you to go, you should go, but it was a public place, and she felt she had every right to be there just like anybody else, and just because she asked for her drink to come, which they took longer than 30 minutes to bring it, she felt a need to not leave. So, they carried out trying to attack her, and the first security guard was trying to attack her, trying to make her get up, which triggered the second security guard to come in and try to manhandle her and violently try to kick her out. Now, when these things in this matter happen, they're supposed to be calling the cops if they can't get someone to act right, right? Not putting their hands on them from their own detail. Now, also, they've done this in front of several people, and yes, it was recorded, because if it was recorded, you wouldn't believe it, right? But it turns out that this has been done before in this same restaurant by the same security guard. But I digressed. Let's watch this video. And trigger warning, it might bother some people, and it might be pretty alarming. Let's watch the footage.
Out of here. You ready? Watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out. You gonna really grab a water? Yeah, bitch. Yeah. Get your ass up.
Now, the first video that appeared on YouTube that I was aware of this, people tried to criticize them, saying that they didn't mention that this was a man who happens to be black as a security guard. It was a non-black woman security guard. And even though there's people who try to act like this is the first time they ever seen violence imposed on this woman who happens to be a woman that happens to be black by a black male security or officer detail, this really happens. It happens. I seen a video of a woman who was she was kind of heavy set, and she had light skin, and this dirt male who was a officer of the court took her up by the neck, basically strangling her with her feet off the ground. So it happens, and for people to act like that's the first time they ever seen any acts of violence like that, it's just kind of jarring to me that they try to keep this thing isolated like it's the only incident. But anyway, back to this story. This is the first time. It's not the first time that has happened at the same restaurant with the same security guard and the same security detail. So these security guards have gotten away with this more than once now, and I don't think that it really has much to do with the mention of the race, because nobody deserves to be treated this way. When you're going and you're paying your money at a restaurant, I don't care if it's a black establishment or not. No one should be treated this way. Of course, we see that We see the color of these folks. We see that there is targeting of a certain hue of women when it comes to guys like this who can't get over his obsession with trying to place women in certain positions because they have mommy issues and want to take it out on everybody who looks like their mommy. And so we are aware of that. Now, when we look at this kind of situation, we know that when anybody goes to the restaurant, goes to the nightclub, they're out to have a good time. Although this person, they say, which is the biggest criticism of all, people were highly critical, saying that when she was asked to leave, she should have left, even though it's a public establishment. Now we know that people have a problem when they are asked to leave and they don't. Now she might have spent some money there, was waiting for a drink, and wasn't going to leave until she got a drink. But the thing is, if these people are harassing her to leave, or I shouldn't say harass, but when they were asking her to leave, then she should have left. Because why would you sit there and you spent your money, and why would you continue to interact with this business if they asked you to leave? Yeah, and I believe that there should be a lawsuit. But it seems like, in black spaces, they try to let it go so that they won't take down another black business when the black business is not treating them in the way that gives them any respect nor dignity. Even the slightest bit of pushback about her not getting her drink got her in this position. Although they probably did go overboard with how they kicked her out. But I don't think she should have sat there and, looked in her camera and stayed there any longer than she had to. She could have just left and then put a lawsuit on them for trying to lie on her because of the fact that he said that she attacked him. But obviously in the video, she's not attacking anyone. She's sitting there looking in the camera. And that could be annoying if you're a security detail and you told somebody to leave. And they're still sitting there gazing in the camera like, look what they're doing. Look what they're saying to me. Then yeah, you probably get irritated. And that's an anger management problem. Although there are some viewers right now that would, attack me for saying that it was a bias. And he has a deep bias. He wanted to get his hands on that woman when the other security guard was failing to get her out of there. And he had enough. And that's just playing devil's advocate. Although this woman was told to leave, she should have picked up her things and left, even though she had friends in tow. And those friends should have left along with her, left bad reviews, and went on. Now, he got fired because he was the one that lied. The other security guard did not lie. He lied in a statement saying that she attacked him first, which we see she's just sitting there. It's good that it was recorded, but it's not the best idea to sit there and try to mock, be condescending while they're trying to get you out of the restaurant. It's best to film it, but, keep it moving on out the door. Then you could say this establishment treated me this way, that way, get a police report. Because the fact they didn't call the police, well, you could be the one that called the police. Get the police report, tell them, how you were treated and all. And the reason why he was fired, or they say he was fired, he probably wasn't fired, he's probably put on leave, but the reason why they say the security guard was fired, or the security officer was fired, is because he told a fib saying that she attacked him, which so many are so quick to believe, but you see no evidence of her making an attack. But they're manhandling her when they could have just called the cops, and that simply would have made it go in a different direction. This is so this is how it could have turned out, because they have to follow certain protocols, you see. So when that patron doesn't leave on their own and you told them to leave, then the cops should have been called. But only the fact that this was kind of corrupt, and how they were dealing with her, they weren't going to call the cops because they know they were in the wrong. Now, I'm not advocating for how she behaved at this club, because you want to be in that club so damn badly that you're going to sit there after they told you to leave. I mean, if I go in an establishment and they're going to take all day to get something, then I'd rather have my money back, or I'm just going to leave. And I'm going to be complaining on Yelp and every other platform that allows me to speak against this establishment, as well as maybe calling 5 on my side. Get legal representation so that you could take it on as a case and go to the doctor and get treated for your injuries, if any. Get the names of all of those who are involved, the name of the establishment, and dates and times, and tell them what happened in detail. And tell them how this has messed with your rights as somebody who can go and patronize their restaurants. And make sure that they lose their dollars when the main people who are spending their money there looks like you. Get a police report and tell them what happened. Because the last patron that was in there was also a woman who happens to be black. And he handled her the exact same way. And she claimed that she did nothing wrong. She didn't speak down on him. She just didn't move. But he attacked. Although knowing that everyone who attends their establishment and pays the money there deserves some form of dignity and respect. For little more than just asking where her drink was at. And he attacked others for less. So at the time, she kept this to herself until this incident came out. Then she spoke in the comment section of the original video, and she didn't take any recourse. She did not contact the police. She did not try to write a letter to these places, but she did complain. She complained to them, telling them the owners what happened, and there was she says that there was no response in return for her complaint. So that is her cue to take it even further, to either get her attorney or a police report, so that these incidents can add up, and then they can close this place up for treating certain patrons this way. The patrons that most spend the money in this restaurant were women like her. And then getting that kind of treatment with no dignity, no thought to even back down on how they were handling paid patrons that were waiting for their drinks and never received them. So let me know what you think, and I'd love to hear your feedback on this, and talk to you soon. Man of News. Ciao.